Hello, everybody, and welcome to the No Zone. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. And we are here for contact. We should have our host on now in just a few minutes. We won't probably be on for about 45 minutes or so, because obviously one of our guests is on the lunch break. So, we'll be finishing up soon. So hopefully we get them on ASAP. But I hope you are all doing well. They've been very busy, I've got to say. As you all know, there's a lot going on, obviously in England, but there's a lot going on in Ireland as well. And I've just been busy at protests and, other events and organising stuff. So it's I have to say it's been a very busy few months, if I'm honest, especially the last few weeks. So straight after the stream, I'll be heading off, guys. I just want to make that clear before we start. I won't be able to hang around. I'm out again tonight. Places all over the shop. Last night, 5 o'clock this morning, a little town in Tipperary with less than a couple of hundred people living in the town have now been overpopulated. And it happened this morning and on Garda Síochána there. But again, we're facing the same problem, is that when help was offered, they refused it, and now everybody is up in there. How many adverts do we have to go through? I don't know. I'm glad that, in fairness though, YouTube's been screwing me over and over the years on this channel. So if there is ads, I'm sorry, but it's about fucking time. That's what I'd say. It's about time. YouTube been screwing me over financially on this fucking channel for fucking 7 years now. So if there are finally ads on me fucking streams, whip-de-doo, I'm fucking delighted. Means I'm actually going to get fucking paid for a change. And rightly so. I've been at this 7 years. Like, I've done me fucking due. I don't ask for much. I only ask people to like and share, subscribe, right? Then YouTube do the rest. When people watch, they're supposed to pay me up, and the bastards keep holding back me payments, right? So I'm not giving out or at PD. You know that. I'm just saying. It's about fucking time. So I don't know where Christian is. So I'll just check Facebook real quickly. He's probably getting set up. Let's see. Why is everything taken? So, by the way, I figured out why I couldn't get rid of the hours on StreamYard. Like, I knew how to delete the recording, but there's the stuff I sent you the link. Did you not? I don't know what's going on here. That's weird. It's literally deleting right in front of me eyes on Facebook. Right, are you in the chat? Christian, if you're in the chat, make yourself known, will you? I'm going to send the link in the chat, and then I'm going to delete it quickly. So, or I'll get me mod to delete it. If you're in the chat, it's actually deleting it right in front of me eyes. I posted it in and it deleted it in front of me eyes. So if you're there in the chat, let me know and I'll put the link in the chat. That's weird, there is. That's weird. Right in front of the eyes, it's deleting it. I don't trust Facebook anyway, never have. I don't really use Facebook. I hate fucking Facebook. you know, I link these streams onto Facebook, but I'm not actually physically on Facebook. But I'll try it again. There we go. You got it this time. Yeah, I could change the role of the admin, so I'll have a look at that now in a minute. But we'll bring on Cinnamon because, as I said, we won't have long tonight, so I want to get everybody on, and we might as well get Cinnamon to start off talking first, because when Christian comes on, he will obviously discuss whatever he wants to discuss. So we'll bring Cinnamon on, who joins me right now, and hopefully we don't have any technical issues like.
Hello all.
Hello. Right, well, before Christian comes on, let's get straight into it. What would you like to talk about this week?
Oh, I don't know. I've had a bit of a busy week, to be honest. God, what can we talk about? I've come so unprepared. It's so shoddy of me, isn't it? I know. But God,
I mean, there's nothing
quiet,
really. That's what I mean. It's dead. There's nothing really like to actually talk about, is there? Because like it's dead. There's nothing.
Yeah, and the things I could talk about, you know, aren't really, you know, football or anything like that. It isn't really of interest on this channel, but it's just like news-wise. I mean, well, news is still getting more reports of stabbings again. But apart from that, it's just like, apart from things that I'm interested in, it's been fairly quiet. Doctor Who news is fairly quiet again. You know, I haven't seen the Deadpool movies. Shock horror. The Borderlands movie that I was gonna go watch. I didn't get around to it yet. That's not doing so well apparently. It's the weird old time at the minute. Everything just seems to be quiet. It's just one of those weeks. I don't know.
Is Alien Romulus out already? Is it? Is Alien Romulus out already? Is it? Because I have to say, the marketing campaign for that, if I was to speak about something, would be that the marketing campaign actually for it has been actually very good. It's been very good. It's been very clever as well. Now, whether that means it's going to be good is another question. But the marketing, in my opinion, has been spot on with Alien Romulus. You know, the people in the streets with the face huggers and all of that. It's deadly. Like they've actually really done a good job, and they've used the old tagline, "In space, Nova." What is it? In space, no one can hear you scream, or whatever the fucking tagline is. So it's like, you know, the promotion of it, the advertising of this is actually spot on. But that won't really necessarily translate into whether this is good or not, and we'll have to wait and see. But you know, I'm willing to give Alien Romulus a go. I mean, we were burnt with the last two movies, in my opinion. But that was because, you know, when you have an old director like Ridley Scott trying to, you know, relive past glories, you're always going to run into trouble. It's the reason why I do believe that this Gladiator movie that he's doing is going to fail. James Cameron is also talking about, you know, bringing back some of his old franchises. Listen, his has-beens, right? He's had his time, yeah? People don't want his movies anymore, and we certainly don't want sequels to these movies. Like, leave them alone, because when you come back, you always end up ruining it. I mean, James Cameron was involved in Terminator Dark Fate, right? Now, he probably did, him alone, he did some of the greatest sequels to movies. Aliens, right? Terminator 2, and then he comes back and gives us that drab. I finally watched it, by the way. I swore I'd never watch it, but do you know what? I am a Terminator fan, right? I love that fucking franchise. I do. I love the first three movies anyway, right? People will argue with Rise of the Machines and all of that, but I had a soft spot. It was a bit of a nostalgia as well. You know, the movie hasn't aged well. got to be honest. It didn't look great when it was released, and it certainly doesn't look great now. But as a Terminator movie, you know, it did what it did, and it was actually pretty decent. You know, the offerings since then have been absolutely dire. But I watched Dark Fate. I decided to give it a go, and I couldn't believe what I saw in the first couple of minutes of that movie. As soon as that happened, just in case anybody hasn't seen it, right? But there's a scene in the movie, right, where John Connor and Sarah Connor at this beach, right? And they do something that just literally like ruins the whole franchise, because they wanted a female antagonist, they wanted a female lead, so they had to get rid of you know who. So bang bang, you're gone. You know what I mean? So he's talking about doing another Terminator movie. Forget about it. Don't want your Terminator movie, right? What you've basically done is just spit on the franchise with that latest offering, right? Leave it out, right? Nobody can play the Terminator now. Arnold was the Terminator, right? It's had its time. Forget about it. You're not going to be ever, and I mean this, you will never revive that franchise as a movie franchise. You may have a chance with animation, which I don't know. I can't believe you haven't gone down that route, and you could do more the origin story and all of that, right? But you could do it as a fucking animation, a cartoon, whatever, right? But this franchise is never gonna have its heyday again. Just like all of these other franchises, Gladiator, will you leave it out? What, we didn't even need a second part. It makes no fucking sense. Right, so his son is going to take up the baton. Oh, how fucking original. Right? These old has-beens need to stop. Right, watch, in a few years' time, Steven Spielberg will come out. We're doing an E.T. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Right? Because Hollywood thinks now that sequels and remakes is going to save them. Right? They're not going to save this. All you need to do is get all the shit that you's allowed into the industry and fuck them all out and get people in that can actually fucking write a decent story, right? We don't want old stories. We want new stories. Anyway, there's my rant done for this week. But I had to get it off my chest. Do you know what? With the way the world has gone, right? The one thing that we always used to be able to rely on was the good LTV. But you can fucking forget about that now. You switch it on, you're white. You're a bad person. You're a racist. Climate change. Oh, you can change 57 genders. Sick of it all. Sick of it all. Fucking clown world. Clown world is fucking right. Clown world, because come here. No aliens are invading us, right? No alien race is coming here. Why would they? Right, they come down here, right? Some little lefty twat goes to meet them, right? And they say something wrong, and they get offended and cause an intergalactic fucking war. And they probably look at us from outer space and say, look at those weirdos. Look at them. Just leave. You know what? There's no point of invading them. They'll destroy themselves. I'm fucking right. Fucking right. Sorry. Do you know what? I've been dying to fucking have a rant on this channel for a while, you know? But it's a legitimate rant because it is an easy fix in this industry. Like, just get rid of the fucking gobshites that you hired that are no good. You hired them based off gender or diversity, include, because, you know, you have this strategy shit.
Yeah,
no, you hire based on the best. It doesn't matter what their skin color, you hire on the best. And that person happens to be black or happens to be white or happens to be Asian or Latino or whatever. So be it, right? But you hire best in class. Always hire best in class. That'd be like getting some fucking carpenter to build the fucking Chernobyl fucking power plant. You're asking for fucking trouble, right? It's like going into a fucking car warehouse and buying a car with no fucking engine. It's useless. Now, Bob Iger, as I said, you know, if you're looking for someone to turn around Disney, give me a ring. Right, give me a ring, and I have a couple of pals to bring with me, Christian there, Cinnamon, and a couple of others, right? And we will tell you how to fix Disney. Overnight. We'll fix your company, you'll make money again, and people will love the Disney brand again and won't think that you are a bunch of evil fucking groom and fucking, I can't even say half the shit that I want to fucking say.
Satan worshipping.
Satan. Say it. You're right. Satan.
The black eye club or whatever it is.
Disney used to be a fucking, seriously, man. Everybody saw the Disney logo back in the day. You knew you were watching a good movie. You fucking knew you were watching a good movie. Right? Now you fucking see the Disney logo. You know you're getting shit. You're getting shit. And then Bob Iger's sitting there. Oh, I wonder why the company is losing so much money. Let me say. Oh, and by the way, we're going to continue to be woke. Like, open your fucking eyes. You know what the problem is.
They're very behind, aren't they, as well? Very behind, because it almost seems like we're living in the future. Like, I don't know, like time traveling or whatever. Like, they always seem like a couple of years behind us, because it's like they're now coming out and saying stuff, and it's like, well, yeah, Joe Biden is incapable. We were saying this 4 years ago. Why is this now news now? Oh, now you've noticed.
They've no choice. Because they've no choice now, Cinnamon. They've no choice now because it's so fucking obvious. That's why. That's why. It's the only reason why they're coming out now and saying that this is the media all over for you, right? They helped cover up and facilitate this man for the last couple of years, and the government, right? But as soon as it's shown that he's incapable now, and we can all see that after that fucking debate, right? Now they've changed their tactic. Now they're blaming the government. But they're the ones that pushed it all and said he was fine. Right? They're fucking hypocrites, they are. They knew that man wasn't fucking well. And his wife is just as fucking bad as well. Right? I don't care what your opinion is on Joe Biden, by the way. Anybody. The bottom line is that man is clearly mentally fucking... His capacity is gone. He's done. He's fried. His brain is fried. And they've been fucking putting him in front of a fucking camera and probably been drugging the poor fucking man up. No matter what you think of him, it's fucking wrong. That's someone's grandfather. Do you know what I mean? That's how you look at it. And they don't give a shit. Right? They don't give a shit. They'd rather keep Donald Trump out by all means fucking necessary, and they're willing to fucking lie and perjure themselves. Right? So... You know, this world is just, it's gone. It's gone. Everybody has just lost the plot. This is the leftist utopia, by the way. Okay? That this left have been talking about for decades. This is their utopia now. Everybody down each other's throats. Race wars happening everywhere. Homophobia on the rise.
Ruling by fear, really, because it is a lot of that. It's scaring people into behave. You know, like,
I know. Fear is the biggest motivator.
Even people who aren't even political, you know, they'll say, like, "Oh, you can't say now these days." You know, it's obviously a common feeling. You know, I don't have to be some university-educated person to see what's going on in the world. You know, it's just it's ruling by fear. You know, they'll threaten you with your job. Everyone and their nan is getting cancelled these days. You know, wrong think. I mean, we've literally got a government here now that is threatening to arrest people for simply being passers-by. You know, people who were simply watching these riots that have been happening. If you just simply watched it or dared to sort of say anything remotely critical of the police online, or they're coming for you in living in 1984 Britain.
I warned you fucking last year. I said it, but they've saying it for a long time, man. Right? The bottom line is, right, is fear is the biggest fucking motivator, right? The biggest factor that they use. But you're right. The fact that people are just standing there minding their own business, right? Or there to support but not getting involved in any of the crap that's going on. They're now being sent to prison. So, you know...
People just filming it. Anyone who's in the area and thought, "Oh, I'll film it."
You know what? Yeah,
or whatever, just to share it.
Get out. they don't want the truth to get out. So what they do is they punish anybody that has. So look at the Irish government's been trying to pull that shit with us, but we've managed to hold it off. And now the hate speech laws look like they might be getting binned. But I don't trust the government. I always think they always have a chance of bringing them forward. But they've tried that shit here, and we've resisted so far. But what I would say to everybody that's protesting now in the UK, it's as simple as this. You need to stop smashing things up. If you want to keep some credibility, you need to stop now. You have made your point, right? Now you need to go back to peacefully protesting. The bottom line is you have already had a general election. So you have two options. You can organise over the next 5 years and get your fucking asses around every single fucking community in the fucking UK and spread the nationalist message over there and tell them that there's better options than the Labour Party and the Tories. It's as simple as that, right? You could do that over a 5-year period, or the other option is simple. Remember, and that's all I will say, okay? So you have two options, and they're the only options that you have. Because the bottom line is, no matter what happens, the British government's going to continue to bring them in, just like they are in Ireland, right? And they might do, listen, in England, yes, fair enough, they do deport some, but with the numbers that you are taking in, with the ones that you are deporting, you are still taking a lot in, right? We hardly deport. I tell you, right, 99% of those in this country, a newspaper article the other day, of those that were earmarked to be kicked out of here, only 1% of them were actually sent home. Only 1% were sent home. So that's what you're dealing with in every country. But you need to stop. I'm not saying you, but I'm talking to the British people out there that are smashing things up. You need to stop now, because you are losing credibility by the day. You are playing into the government's hands. Listen, when he came out and did his speech and then he said to the Muslim community that he was going to protect them, that he had their backs, he said that deliberately to get up all his skins so you could go out and smash up the place like you are doing. And he's played into his hands. Now you have to stop, because the more he comes out with this rhetoric now and you all start acting peacefully all of a sudden, right, he won't know what the fuck to do, just like our Irish government. They're stuck. They can't even define far right over here, right? That's how much of a pickle we've got them in. And you need to do that over there, right? And the only way you could do that and stop that is by stop smashing up the fucking place. And anyway, these are idiots. These are smashing up these around fucking communities that you live in. So I don't get the point. You have to pay for all the damage. So, like, you know,
there's roads getting done in, there was cars getting burnt, and it's built this destroying half our town. And it's like, again, I get, and I said again, I was getting debates with people online, and it was like, I get why they're doing it. I get why people are angry. I don't agree with what they're doing, because again, I don't sit there in good conscience and throw a brick at a police officer's face, someone's brother, someone's dad, and think, yeah, that's
you're right.
you look,
you're absolutely right.
like
Look, everybody understands. Look, everybody understands the anger, absolutely. But after the initial riot, if that's what you want to call it, that should have been it. People should have said, right, okay, we got angry, it spilled over. Let's regroup now and let's do it differently, right? And you'd be in a much better position. But you also need to stop listening to Nigel Farage, Tommy Robinson, all of them, right? Because the bottom line is they're not going to help you. None of them will. You can only help you yourselves, and you need to forge alliances as well. By the way, over there, you need to start forging alliances. It's the only way that you are going to get anywhere. But if you continue the violence, right, you are playing straight into the government's hands. They'll bring in emergency powers, right? They're already putting people in jail for just standing around, right? They'll bring in emergency powers, and you'll be classed as a terrorist, and you'll be locked up for 7 to 14 years in prison, right? Without trial.
One of them was like 28 months, I think it was, just for shouting.
Yeah.
Like at a place, like, just shouting, and he got 28 months. I think, really? A few hurty words, is that all it takes? And it's like, as you can imagine straight away, oh, it's all far right. I think
Yeah, but what
they're
you
giving
need to
these
be
they're
doing
giving these
now
people
is,
too much. They're giving these people too much credit by even calling them that, because to be far right requires a certain awareness of like that ideology, and I don't think Big Barry going down the piss up with his mates, looking to exploit a situation, which the majority of it was. I think it's just idiots looking to jump on board and maybe cause a bit of chaos and using it as an opportunity. Again, there were teenagers, almost 14. Are we really saying he's far right? I think a lot of it. I think some of them maybe. I mean, again, straight away, EDL. EDL hasn't been around since like 2014. It doesn't even exist anymore. But again, that's just, they'll throw mud. They'll say, "Oh, Tommy Robinson, he wasn't even in the country when it was happening." I don't think. Again, they're trying to stick it to Farage too. I don't think he said anything of the sort. It's just because he's linked with the whole migration topic. They just thought, "Oh, let's just connect the dots." Again, a lot of it, it's not even far right. A lot of it were just normal working people. And again, it's easy
well,
just to
here's the
categorize the
thing.
working class.
You mentioned,
And what about the Muslim that I saw, and Muslims and some of the migrant communities that I saw in my town, walking around on Sky, brandishing machetes, taking part in the violence? Are they far right too now? I guess not. All the
see
things
here,
in Leeds.
here's the thing now, what you guys should be doing. You know, all of those people that you spoke about that are in prison for stupid fucking crimes, for just standing around. You should be all protesting outside every single one of those prisons. We use our placards, right? What yous have entered in your country is what they're trying to do here, and it's turning into a police state. Yous are fucked. Yous be more fucked than us because of the British government and what they have behind them. They literally have an army as well, but yous are fucked if you don't do so. But you need to make the public aware. You need to be going to all of these prisons, which is a placard, and explaining why these people are in prison. And if none of them have been involved in violence, like you said, and we're just filming or standing around, you need to be outside those prisons, because cameras. Now, I don't know how the media is. They probably, I do kind of know what Sky News is like and all of that. But if you can get the media outside these prisons, you know what I mean? That is a putting spotlight on the issue, these people in prison, and the country will see that. Do you know what I mean? You need to be kicking up more of a fuss there,
But
rather
remember
than
when we saw in
happening now.
2020? Do you remember when we saw in 2020 when there were buildings? There was a reporter. Oh yeah, it's mostly peaceful while there's a building set on fire behind him. It was like that. There was literally a group of lads walking about with a machete, um, in the Muslim communities in my town, and of course, they didn't say anything about it. And that's the thing. If you're going to call it out on both sides. They were just as bad as each other. To be honest, if I'm being honest with you,
Yeah.
lads going around beating up British guys.
Right, Christian will be joining
You know
us
what I mean?
this week. Just to let you know, Christian will be joining us because he said that he was there, but he sent me a private chat there just to say, "You two have this covered. I'll just go and have me lunch. I'll see you next week." So that's fair enough. But we'll be wrapping up in about 15 minutes anyway. As I said, I wasn't going to be on long myself because I've got tons to fucking do. We're back here again tomorrow. Now I'm actually setting up a timetable now because I have a clear idea now of how to break up the week. So there'll be Tuesday streams, obviously, every Tuesday. You still have the Wednesday streams, and then I'll have a member stream then once a week as well, because I've neglected the members. So I have to get back on that. So there'll be a member stream the weekend. That'll be Sunday afternoon, because people like the Sunday afternoon streams when I did the membership. So I'm going to do a Sunday afternoon stream, because I do stream on the other channel Sunday evening. So I'll do a Sunday afternoon. So, and then obviously then when Doctor Who comes back to some sort of normality and stuff, and just we get information on the spin-off, then we'll obviously talk about that and stuff, and I'll let you know. But yeah, so every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday now for the time being. It's just until because as I said, I'm streaming on 2 other fucking channels as well, and let's just say it's I'm stretching myself fucking out a bit far, but I've got, as I said, I've got the timetable now in me head. So it's, as I said, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Sundays then for members. Sunday afternoon stream, where we just have a bit of a chat and talk about. In those chats, I like talking about childhood and stuff we grew up with and stuff like that. So it does be a cheerful chat, no ranting, no
Good
ranting.
to be nostalgic.
That's it. And I love them because, like, you know, I did do them before. Then I got very busy. So that's definite. It's not going to change. That's the schedule now, guys, right? So just so you know, because I know, as I said this last week, and I keep saying it, but things just keep popping up, and I swear to you, it's like it's every day in this country now, and it's actually, I will say, it's fucking getting to me, all right. Fucking, I don't think I slept so early or fell asleep so early last night. So what I try to do now is, especially because I'm working all week now, it's actually 7 days. It's just on different channels now. I try to take a break during streams now, and you know, it's helping, but not much. But you know yourself. I will take a holiday next year or something. You know what I mean? I'll take a bit of a break next year if I can, and go somewhere nice. You know, go and have a lads' weekend or something, maybe. You know, a few drinks, bit of disco. You know what I mean? Then, yeah, just get pissed. That's it. I haven't just, you know, it's been ages since I just got pissed. Just went out and just went, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah. Used to do it all the time in my 20s, but when you get a little bit older, you know, you can't get pissed all the time. Anyway, yeah, so Christian, we will see you next week. And if there's anything you want to talk about, you know, you're more than welcome to talk about that, as you were doing. You were doing a few reviews. If you want to do that next week, you're more than welcome to do. So the no zone, I think the key point is that the UK remain within the ECHR, yeah, I know, and the two-tier care keeps violating Article 10 of the Human Rights Act, even though he is ex-head of the CPS. Yeah, well, for the last 15 minutes, I'm going to steer away from politics because that's what I do on the other channels. And if you are interested, actually, in what's going on, because I do cover the UK sometimes, because, like, you know, we've had Gobby on, and I do have people from Northern Ireland on, from England on, and I've even had a couple of Welsh people from America on the channel as well, and some of the nationalist candidates have also come on. So if you are interested in politics, go over and subscribe. The channel I'm on now at the moment, because the other one, I won't get into it, but it's the Irish Zone. Get it off your chest. It's the second channel. If you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate it. Some of the people that are here do normally be in the chat. Daniel pops up the odd time as well. And it's nice to have that support. If you are interested in politics, listen, I think this is bigger than pop culture anyway, you know, what we're facing. And it started off in the pop culture. See, this is the thing. I keep telling people in the nationalist movement, you know, that it's all connected. You know, the entertainment industry, what's happening in society, the migrant, it's all connected. Like every single bit of it is connected. So
it's been forced. You can no longer just enjoy simple things anymore. You know, you're having it in your programs now. You've got showrunners, people who write comics, maybe, you know, game developers taking it upon themselves to sort of preach to you a certain message. When, you know, a lot of the time, again, you know, like I think I said earlier, you know, you've got people who aren't even political now getting involved. And that's kind of what happened to me, really. I didn't really, you know, I'm not that much of a political person, really.
Well, here we're at to spend the last 36 minutes talking about fucking politics instead of fucking entertainment. But there you go. It's all connected, though. You know, it is all connected, and I hate to say it, I don't want to get political on this channel, but if you think about it, I have gotten political with what they've done with Doctor Who and the entertainment industry. We're all political, whether we like it or not. Unfortunately, that's what they've done to us. Listen, yous all know me. What would I rather be doing? I'd rather be sitting here praising Doctor Who, right? Rather being out there in the streets, fucking having to fucking fight for me communities and fight for me fucking country, like. Do you know what I mean? We all want an easy fucking life. But
Yeah.
nobody
That's
can
what I'm ever
ignore
saying.
this
Once we get to
anymore.
life.
This is the thing. You can't ignore this anymore. You can't bury our heads in the sand. Right? It's there. It's in front of you. Your children, your families, future generations are at risk now. Right? There's a clear plan. And these elites, the Europe, they're going to continue. They don't care about us. They want that plan to be seen through, and they will see through that plan. And remember, if countries like Hungary who refuse to bow down, they're being fined millions a day by the European Union because they won't comply with having their country flooded by all of these illegals, right? So yeah, you know, you just can't bury our heads in the sand anymore because I can guarantee you, right? I'm actually surprised that it hasn't started to happen yet. But you know the way Hollywood goes through phases. I'm surprised they haven't gone through their illegal migration phase yet and start doing movies based on illegal fucking migration and trying to fucking frame them as fucking the greatest people that ever fucking stepped foot on your land. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, let's move away for the last 10 minutes anyway or so. Let's move away from fucking politics and let's, well, I mean, we go back to Disney.
Well, I've got a thing on the movies that I guess I could say. Is that like I don't know if it's just a thing with Cineworld. Like, do you have a Cineworld in Ireland?
Yeah, we do,
We have
but it's closing down.
yeah.
It's closing down, I think, because Cineworld is in a lot of fucking financial fucking dire straits. I mean, a lot of those cinema chains during COVID were fucked. They never recovered, like in fairness. But
Yeah.
yes, it's. I think it's closing here, but we do have a Cineworld here. Yeah, I never liked it. I never liked Cineworld. I don't know. They just it never felt like a warm place, and I don't mean as in when you go into the cinema it's freezing. I mean the whole atmosphere of the place, the staff. I just never really felt like they cared. They just wanted your money.
Yeah, I was just thinking because obviously I've got the whole card thing. I've done for a good maybe 2 or 3 years. You know, you can book as many movies that you want to go see as many times as you want, however, whatever you want, how many
Mm.
times you want, etc. And it's like I've noticed now doesn't seem to be a lot of new movies. A lot of, like even now that they're re-showing all the Spider-Man films, and they do this occasionally. This isn't like something new. They'll put on like an old movie. For example, if it's like a 20th anniversary, I know they had Harry Potter before. They had 28 Days Later a couple of weeks ago, and it's like even now they're re-showing all the Spider-Man films, and they're now re-showing all the Star Wars films from like episode
Yeah,
1
but
all the
they're
way to 9,
probably
even
doing that,
Rogue One or whatever it
Brandon.
was.
They're probably
And
doing
it's
that
like they're
because they
offering
know
deals like
people will
five
watch
pounds,
those
five
movies.
pounds to see them all.
But they probably know people are going to watch those
And I
movies.
think that's
That's
what
the
it is.
thing.
It's
The
like
old movies.
because I was watching. I noticed this myself because I went to see Dune, and I don't know if I saw it the first day it came out. I think I saw it on the second day, maybe like at the second time slot because a lot of different time slots throughout the day. Maybe like a 12
Yeah.
o'clock one, 4:30, 7:30, and I think on the second day, like during the middle of the day, I went and there was 7 people there, myself included, so me and 6 other people. And then later on, me and my partner went to see 28 Days Later. No, that film's like literally older than me by a couple of months. Came out in
Yeah.
2002, and like more people went to see that film than they did for June. And I thought, well, like people love June because it was everywhere. Everyone was memeing about the whole popcorn, you know, the worm cup thing.
Yeah.
It was like it wasn't a bad film, and yet like well, if like 7 people went to that one, and then like it was like a lot more full for the 28 Days Later film. And it's like you're seeing deals like again. I don't know if it was. I got it from correct because £5 for all the movies seems quite low, unless it was £5 each. I don't know. It was just like again these deals. Oh, let's just bring the old movies, and again they're good movies. I might go and see them because again Revenge of the Sith is my favorite, and I've never seen that on a big screen at cinema before.
Listen,
But
that's
like,
amazing.
deals like that, and it's like these old films, and it's like, where are the new stuff? Whereas it doesn't seem like we're just taking a bit of a nosedive in quality and the production is, and obviously I know COVID was a thing, but it's like, I don't know. It just seems like they're just sort of throwing out. I don't know if that's just like an industry problem or just the same old thing, or let's just offer a deal. All the old films that you love, let's just put them on, something like that.
The last prequel movie of the George Lucas Star Wars trilogy is the best one. I mean, like, it took him 3 movies to actually make a decent Star Wars prequel, in my opinion. I mean, The Phantom Menace wasn't too bad, but if I hadn't got that fight in it, then I don't think that would have been a great movie. The Clone Wars was at least half an hour, 45 minutes too long. And of course I had one of the worst characters ever in the Star Wars, Jar Jar, or whatever, Binks, whatever the fuck his name is. But I did enjoy the third movie. The third movie for me is probably up there with the original trilogy. I got to be honest with you, but I think those movies actually exposed that George Lucas was a hack, and he got lucky with the first 3 movies because the people that he had around him. So yeah, that's why I'm not a Star Wars fan. It's not my franchise. You know what I mean? But I can appreciate it to a certain extent.
I have to admit, I'm a big George Lucas apologist, if I have to be honest.
I'm
that generation that probably grew up with the younger.
Listen, my brother's the same. He grew up the same, that era of Star Wars, right? And you can't say a bad thing about the movies. But the bottom line is, I obviously grew up at the time of the original movies, so the bottom line is, I think, no offense or anything, but I'll just say it out straight. I think OG Star Wars fans, not me, but OG Star Wars fans, trump all of your opinions anyway, because they know best. And they do. It's proven. It's proven. You look at Disney brand now of Star Wars.
With the whole George Lucas thing.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, the whole thing with the whole George Lucas, I think, because he was kind of, if you look at what happened, I think Disney's kind of really sold him a false bill of goods, because it was under the impression that he had this plan, and that initially, I think it was revealed, I don't know, I can't remember how, but, I remember seeing a video on it, and it sort of detailed, like, that they were going to sort of take on board a lot of his plans, because obviously he had an initial outline for what 7, 8, and 9 would be, and Disney, I guess, were under the impression they'd be like, yes, we'll take it on board, and then eventually they kind of sort of switched, and then did do any of it, or maybe took a very, 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 very loose idea of it. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, but like, you defend George Lucas, but he sold it, didn't he, to Disney? And it's like, well, yes, he did. That he did do, but I think it was under a different pretense. I don't think he quite knew what they were going to do with it.
Okay, it's a valid point. Listen, it's a point you make, and I'm not dismissing it, right? They probably did sell him up a river, but here's the thing then. If they did that and he knows that, then why in the fuck, with all the money that he got getting off Disney to buy Star Wars, why the fuck hasn't he sued them into oblivion then if they haven't respected his fucking franchise? Right? His name is still on it. Right? It's like our man Colonel Sanders, right? KFC, right? The fella that invented KFC, right? After he got to a certain age, he retired, but he was still the face of the brand. And then they start changing the brand. They start using cheaper spices, cheaper fucking crap for the food, and he sued them, and he won, right? Because he was like, if you're not going to keep the original recipe, well then I don't want my face on it. So they were forced to go back to the original recipe so they could keep his face and call it KFC. So I can't understand why George Lucas can't fucking sue these bastards for selling them. If that's down on paper, if he has something down on paper, then I don't know why he hasn't sued them. And if he
I think
hasn't
that's it.
sued
I
him,
don't
I'll
think they
tell you
did. I
why he
think
probably hasn't, because he doesn't give a shit anymore. And you know what? I don't really blame him. He's old enough now. What is he, 70 odd, nearly 80? He doesn't need it anyway, does he really? Let's be honest. He probably doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Well, yeah, and I think it's a bit like maybe what PD's saying. I don't think it was something that was maybe written down in a contract. I think it was sort of like, maybe an agreement. I'm trying to think of it like if it was a football term. I don't think there was some sort of clause that required them to do it. I think it was like, oh, well, we'll think about it. Oh, well, we'll have a look at it and then we'll see. And then I think they just sort of said, no, we'll
Man,
do
I
something
tell you,
else.
if he didn't put
And with it
Arton
being their
down
property now, it'd be
paper,
theirs to do it with. I don't think, if you then bought it and it's yours now. If I was to buy something off you and let's say, well, I might have a look at it. I might take what you on board what you say, and then think, actually, no, I'm going to go in a different direction. Once the keys are mine,
well, if that's in the clause,
it's my
right?
kind
If
of
he
prerogative.
agreed to
Maybe again,
that clause, well, then George Lucas is the biggest fucking idiot that ever lived, in my opinion, right? I don't care how much you're getting, right? The bottom line is, if you care about that franchise enough, you're going to put safeguards in place in that clause to make sure that it's safeguarded and they don't fuck it up like they have, right? So to me, it indicates that he probably cared at the start when he seen the sequel trilogy. And I say his heart was fucking broken, but I say he's just gone to the point where there's no point of arguing and he just doesn't give a shit anymore. And he'd be right not to give a shit anymore. If I were Lucas, though, I'd make them remove his name. That's what I'd do if I were Lucas. Get your name removed off it. Right? People know what your Star Wars was. Even the fucking prequel trilogy. Yes, it has its flaws, but it's George Lucas's Star Wars. Right? Okay? Yeah, just get your name off this. You don't deserve it, doesn't deserve this anyway. Right? But Disney are not gonna do right by it. And eventually they'll have the course correct, but it'll be too late. I mean, they spent billions on that and they've lost money. They've lost money. Like, it wasn't worth the acquisition. Right?
you should have just left it. If anything, to be honest, it was like, we had. It's crazy thinking now it's a whole big universe. I mean, there was always a universe anyway because there was extended media and stuff. But there was one point where it was just 6 films. Like that was it. Okay, maybe like and then the animations. There was a kids, which I say kids because it ran on a children's program, Cartoon Network or whatever it was. The Clone Wars, which was a good show which I've been watching. But it's like it was just that, and then you hear like, well, were they going to do a sequel? Were they going to do more movies? And then you get Disney that's then bought this acquisition, acquired the franchise, and think, oh well, the potential's there for more movies, more shows, and in that sense it's good, but it's like when you get the quality of what we actually got, and they're just a blatant again rhetoric from these people who have come out and then said, yeah, we're doing this to be deliberately anti-fan, like that's going to win you plaudits, like, yeah, I'm going to go into this and like just screw you all over and just not give you what you want and just say like, yep, stick a middle finger up at the end of it and walk away, and then like think that's going to bode well for you. Again, strange choice, but it's it's a lot of it now. It's just mismanagement of just these IPs. Why do it? What I don't. It just there's no logic to it anymore. The whole world's just again. It's run by fear. But like it impacts everything. There was again anyone who's familiar with the Saints Row franchise. There was talks of bringing that franchise back. It was allegedly going to go back to its roots, not kind of the silly stuff it got into. It's going to go back what made it good. And then the higher ups, I think the developers wanted it to go back to its roots. The publishers and the people who were sort of in charge, the parent company, as you can imagine, they were like, no, we need to make it relatable about student loans and these kids. And yeah, it was just like, these supposed to be gangsters, this crime game, and you've got these edgy people talking about, oh, I can't afford my student loan, so we're going to go turn to crime. And it was terrible, absolutely abysmal. And it was so bad, it's literally killed the company. The company's now gone, bankrupt, I think. And it's just give people what they want. It's really not that hard. Again, it's a bit
No,
like We're ruled by fear. There was one point, again, for the football fans out there, we used to joke about Burnley, Brexit Burnley, because there was a point where, there was only sort of English or Irish players. It was a kind of a joke. They didn't have any black players at the time. And it's like, imagine if they sort of then went out and said, okay, well, because people are starting to notice that we've not really got many black players in the team, let's go out and sign just black players. Doesn't matter if they're good or not, we'll just sign anyone, just so we can look good. Imagine if that was how it worked. People would go mental, like, what the hell are you doing? No, you're a football team. You want to compete. You might not be able to attract the best players, but you'll do your
Yeah,
best to
you're not
put your best
competing
effort.
like that. Anyway, you're
It's a bit
absolutely
like,
right.
imagine a team just sort of like any sports team admitting defeat and saying, well, actually, we could try and get the best, within the confines of, our ability, our scouting team, our money, whether we can actually afford them.
But
Well,
we
we could
decided
go
to
best.
diversify. We decided to diversify and to be inclusive. Yeah, and then our club gets fucking relegated.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's imagine if it worked like that. It'd be a disaster. If it worked like that, it'd be crazy. But that's how these other corporations work. Oh, let's just hire this particular writer because, well, it's a woman, and it'd be good to have a woman in a high profile role. Okay, if she's good for it, then yeah. If she's got a lot of ideas that you think are really going to work,
yeah, but hold
and
on.
you
If
genuinely
you
feel
go
like
in
you can
with
bring
that
something.
initial thought that you're going to hire a woman because you want to freshen it up or whatever the bullshit excuse is, well, then you're not looking at the best for the job in the first place. Do you know what I mean, Brandon?
Mm-hmm.
You're not actually looking for the best. You're still like basing your hiring off a certain criteria. The only criteria that you should be judged on is if you're the best person for the job. It's like
Yeah.
that would be like giving a mechanic a job in a pizzeria, right? It's just not going to work. Do you know what I mean? So it's look, once they get past that mindset, which I'm told by people that have their noses in the industry, that Hollywood is starting to make that shift, but it's going to be fucking slow. But they've realized, apparently, some of them have had their eyes open to the fact that they are losing billions, but their course correct is not a proper course correct though, because what it is, it's remakes and sequels, and they think that that's going to bring an audience back. It's not going to bring us back. We don't want remakes, and we certainly don't want sequels, unless the movie is like, a couple of years old, and there's no good movies a couple of years old out there that you could do sequels to be quite fucking honest with you. So leave it out. You give us new stories. But look, we're going to wrap it up there. We're going to give Brandon a chance to do his social media shout outs. If PD wants to throw some of the channels, the guys that we really, that support us there, if you want to throw a few of them in the chat there, you're more than welcome to do that, PD. Also, just throw in Gobster's channel as well, though. I want you to put his channel in because he's covering all the stuff in the UK and he's doing such a great fucking job. And he has a lot on his plate as well, especially with John the White passing away. We will be doing a stream. That I was asked. I'm just waiting for everything to settle down a little bit, but there is a plan for a stream. Dan was talking to me. I don't know whose channel is going to be on yet, but there is an agreement that we're all going to come on and do a stream in honor of John, and I think it's only fitting and right anyway. He was a big member of everybody's community. Mine in the early days, as everybody knows, we had a well documented falling out. And thankfully, a couple of years ago, we buried the hatchet, and we were talking behind the scenes quite a lot because Gobster has a chat where the whole lot of us were still in that chat now, and there's only me and Gobster left, and it's like it's weird because John would always be in there posting away, and we'd either reply or he'd reply to some of our posts, and it is a bit weird, like, because we haven't, obviously, the chat is not what we got rid of, you know what I mean? It's going to be there now for
There's a big hole gone now.
Yeah, but it's weird. Yeah,
his analysis, his big deep dives, his tweets are always very well thought out.
Yeah.
And, planned and researched. Again, he would hold everyone to account. It was like he'd send a three tweet essay in response to somebody if he disagreed or if he was engaging with someone. And it's like, no, that I don't see that on my timeline anymore. I know that it's just a big voice gone now.
It's not. You notice. See, this is the thing. Certain individuals and characters that we meet, and it's only after they're gone. But some of us that are in that crowd know how big of an impact this person's making, but maybe not the rest of the people. But when they do leave, when they're no longer here, you feel it. And he's left a huge gap, and Gobster, his family, and many others are fucking absolutely devastated by his passing. But as we said, we won't forget him here. He certainly won't be forgotten by all who knew him anyway. He did make an impact, and as far as I'm concerned, he was one of the good ones. And he was, we had our issues. Don't get me wrong. Me and him were like brothers, man. At some points, we'd be down each other's throats. But you know what? At the end of the day, we're able to put our differences aside, and that's the one thing I'm delighted about. Because I would have felt really like shit if we hadn't buried the hatchet, because both of us were just being fucking stubborn. And that's the thing about me and John. We were too similar like that. We were stubborn and we wouldn't back down sometimes. But when we worked together, it was sensational, and we did. We covered a lot in the early days. We exposed the feminist front, right? We exposed our tactics and how they were bullying YouTubers, male YouTubers who had a problem with Jodie Whittaker, right? They were even trying to Me Too a few people as well. We exposed all of that, myself and John. They're on the channel, by the way. You can go back and watch those early streams with me and John on here. We exposed a lot of fucking shit together, and I'm proud of that. And I was proud to be part of that with him. He won't be forgotten. Anyway, I will hand you over to Cinnamon. PD has obviously put his channel in there, but I just want him to verbally let you know if there's anything coming up on his channel and where else you can find him. Go ahead.
So yeah, I shall probably know if you've seen any sort of, well, hopefully you've got to hit the notification bell. But yeah, I'm back on it now. I've been bitten by the creativity bug again. I've done 2 videos now. Hopefully I can do something this Saturday, maybe every Saturday if I try and get into that mindset, get something out, whatever it be. I think that'll do well, live stream or otherwise. But yeah, so if you want to see any of that, then Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then under the same name on X as well.
Fantastic. And you can find me here tomorrow with Cinnamon and hopefully Queen Charlotte and PD Rich, where we will be talking about God knows what. But again,
I can do it, but I'll have to probably shoot off before 8 because I think we're playing Leeds in the Cup.
It's grand. We finish. Remember, we start around 6:30 and we finish around we finish early enough. What time's the match? 8.
I think 8 p.m.
Be grand. We'll be finished way before then. You'll be all right. So yeah, we'll be here tomorrow from 6:30. We'll finish around 6:30 and stuff like that. But come and join us. Myself, PD, Queen Charlotte, and Cinnamon, of course. And now I'm going to head off, and I can hear the missuses come in as well. So absolutely perfect timing. She must be fucking Mystic Meg. Anyway, have a good one, folks. Until tomorrow, enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care. Look after yourselves. And most importantly, stay bloody safe. Okay? Stay safe, guys. I'm serious. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
See ya.